Happy birthday, Dreamcast. You're legal. I'm actually not the biggest fan of the Dreamcast, but there's a lot of stuff I wanted to discuss about it. There's a ton of information about it. I could discuss the console, I could discuss the games. Let's just discuss all the stuff I don't like about the Dreamcast. Quickly. I discussed this briefly with Mastercast, or the host of My Life with Sega. And I'll discuss some things about it. First off, the controller, which he mentioned. The Dreamcast controller is not a Saturn controller. The Saturn controller is probably the best controller of all time. This has these shoulder buttons, which are a little bit annoying to click. It's like you sort of get this trigger finger getting it. Another thing was so annoying, the controller ports. This one isn't working too well now, 18 years later. According to Wikipedia, Sega made the Dreamcast to be cheap, which is, of course, a problem. It's easy to repair, probably, but it's just sort of annoying. I guess Sega CD was expensive, and it wasn't the hardest to repair, but it was sort of annoying to repair. The Saturn was expensive, especially if you get a high Saturn and a V Saturn, which possibly can have special parts different from the one of the normal Saturn, and this could be a problem. This is just annoying. Just stuff I don't like about the Dreamcast. I don't have as much nostalgic value for this. Do I think that my perception of the Dreamcast made people not want to get it? I don't think so. A lot of people like the Japanese games, the shooters, on-rail shooters, the flying shooters. I just never got into the great library of Dreamcast games, I guess. I wasn't the biggest Dreamcast fan before I bought it. I bought it at a low price. They sold some of these without VGA, and it's sort of annoying because you can't get the maximum picture out of it. There's the AV out. Really, nothing's jammed in there. You see? Can't put my finger in there. First, I had some problems trying to put stuff in there. You have the modem, you have the serial number, serial thing. ABCD, cool. Windows compatible. I wonder if they made it Windows compatible for the modem. I have not done research on it, but something to think about. Oh, another thing. The Dreamcast gets stained easily. Same problem with the PlayStation, go with the white color. I'm not sure about the white Saturn, but I've only owned it for a couple of years. Less than a year, actually. I have to ask my cousin from Taiwan about it. I guess the next thing I should cover is the games. I don't really have that great of a game library. When the console came out, everyone knew about Sonic Adventure. I'm not sure if there was enough awareness about other games. 25 Pro Skater 2, of course. I don't know if everybody played it for the Dreamcast, although it's probably the superior port, especially in comparison with SD4. PlayStation, not so sure, but PlayStation controller was sort of like a Super Nintendo controller, so maybe. Crazy Taxi was really cool. I played Crazy Taxi 1 in arcades. I don't remember if there was a Crazy Taxi release for the Dreamcast. I don't know if they advertised the fact that you can go online, play online. I mean, if they had StarCraft on Dreamcast, I'm pretty sure Korea would have bought a ton of them. Although they probably prefer on PC. I don't know how well StarCraft 64 did in Korea. Not a lot of information about Korean working market in general. At least not that I can find of. Maybe if I spoke Korean or wrote Korean, I could figure it out. Crazy Taxi, Space Channel 5. There's definitely commercials about Space Channel 5. That was a really hyped up game, actually, now that I think about it. That was pretty cool. It's weird. They didn't show the gameplay, which I guess might have been a problem. They were just selling Urara, basically, for the game. Interesting marketing tactic there. I wonder if that worked. Not so sure if it did. Probably good research for a later video. Phantasy Star Online. Phantasy Star wasn't as popular in America as it was in Japan. Sega enthusiasts really like Phantasy Star, but outside of like people bought Sega, I'm not sure who was familiar with it. And there wasn't really advertised by Sega ever. There wasn't a Shining Force for Dreamcast, and I was a big Shining Force fan because of the Game Gear game. Well, that should be talked about another time. Virtua Fighter made it do very well in Japan, I hear, and that makes sense. My cousins in Taiwan love Virtua Fighter. Never bought that game. Third or whatever it is. Omicron's an interesting game, but never advertised. A lot of history behind that is I might as well segue here since I'm talking about it now. It's done by David Cage, I believe, the creator of Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls. Street Fighter Alpha. Some people really like, well, the fighters, obviously Marvel vs. Capcom 2 everyone loves for the Dreamcast and the Xbox. They were basically like the same controller, basically. Xbox might even be a little bit easier because like the shoulder button's not as trigger fingery. Shenmue, everybody knows about now. 18th anniversary. Let's talk about Shenmue. Let's talk about how this Shenmue 3 is coming out. Hard to say if they'll do well. A lot of people are disenchanted after the Mighty Number 9 Kickstarter. It's hard to say. They didn't show any gameplay, so it's hard to determine anything. I hope they didn't spend money on that trailer because it didn't do a good job. I would say because like how the original game looked, it was a little weird too. So I'm not sure if this will do better or worse. It's doing merchandise wise good. Hopefully they get backing from Sony or Sega or something to be a success. Because this year has been really good for Sony. Sonic Mania, Sonic Forces, I'm both expecting to do well. Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter, Sonic Boom cartoon, who knows whatever movies is going to do. I don't remember what I played. In my anime club in my high school, we definitely played a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I'm trying to figure out what else. Trigger something was played. Back then it was CRTs. Big CRTs. With like rolling easels or whatever you call them. Wheelchairs that are dragging them around. I guess they chained up the TVs to make sure they didn't get stolen. Oh, but they were on wheels, which is weird. But those things are heavy, so I guess they make sure they don't get moved. Let's see if I have any more Dreamcast games in case I forget. I doubt you'll see anything here, but hopefully you get wowed just by seeing all that stuff. I get wowed from over here too. I'll show my collection for oh here. Fighting Viper Kudigra Fighting Games. I don't know who else like Fighting Vipers. I love Fighting Vipers. This is a European port. I don't think it's as good as the original one for Saturn. Again, a lot of stuff I prefer Saturn over Dreamcast, but that's another thing. This is the 18th anniversary of the Dreamcast. I don't know if this was ported to the US, but it's a pretty good game. I don't know if there's a lot. This is the same problem with Street Fighter Alpha 3, where there's a lot of characters, but there's not a lot of like cutscenes or anything. Not that I know of, at least. Japanese version of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. As I said, very popular. Cool art, etc. Pretty much weird how I line this up. Pretty much all the must-haves on this side. Pretty good port here. Speed 3.5's must-have. It'll be hard to do with one hand. Virtual Han, I would not consider must-have. I prefer the Saturn version again with that. That's a video by itself. Personally, where I prefer the Saturn version opposed to the Dreamcast version. That's 2 Space Channel 5s here. This is a cool holographic version. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but I saw it on the camera, so I assume you can see it. This is the regular version. I don't remember. I think I got. Well, let me tell the story of how I got the Dreamcast. I originally got it at Best Buy, and I don't know why I was at this Best Buy because I rarely go to Best Buy, but I think it's because of the Black Friday thing or something. And I'm pretty sure it was because according to my research, it was around the same time that the Dreamcast got discontinued, and that's pretty much why I got the non-VGA version of the Dreamcast. So I'll demonstrate here. Non-VGA version. The games I got were Evolution, and I almost got Evolution 2 by Chicken Nugget because I didn't know what it was. Power Stone 2. Power Stone 2 I myself don't consider a must-have game, but because of rarity, I guess it's must-have. If you have it, don't get rid of it. I think I got Crazy Taxi 2, I'm not sure. I had like 2 or 3 copies of Jet Set Radio. I obviously got it there. Jet Set Radio, really fun game. Recently, Bandit Haze did a review of the Steam version of it. It was like 17 years later. It's really weird because Sega celebrated an anniversary this year. A whole bunch of free games on Steam and iPhone, which are pretty cool of them. I think they're really working the brand very well this year. I don't know if it's because of the 18th anniversary of the Dreamcast, but they're doing it. It might just be because they want to survive. But in any case, yeah. So I got Evolution. I got the web browser, obviously. Alien Front Online, a game that comes with a mic in a box. I don't know if I said the box, but it comes with a mic. You're supposed to play it online. Then, I don't know. I never heard of any terrible things like the Miiverse, or what we call it for the Wii U or 3DS universe, or the Mii Plaza. But I don't know if you could draw with the mouse or whatever. There wasn't a lot of server storage, I guess, by the time, so it wasn't as much of a problem. And I think you really only played... Well, because it was on the phone, I think you only played against friends. You never played, like, with strangers, which I guess is something to think about. Like, is it good that we're playing online with people we don't know, opposed to, like, people we meet at high school or something, and then we play them online? I don't even know if this is true, but it's something to think about. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. I might have got that at my local store, which doesn't exist anymore, but maybe I didn't, and I got it at Best Buy. Omicron. I have no idea where I got that. Might have even got it in England, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. That might not be royalty free. Star Wars. Maybe got that from Best Buy on last day of Dreamcast. Maybe not. Virtual on Ontario on Telegram. GameStop, as you can obviously tell from this ugly price tag. Good reason to have the price tag on, so you can remember where you got the darn thing from. Fantasy Star Online, I definitely got that on the last day of the Dreamcast. Shenmue. I definitely got this at the store. My local store, which doesn't exist anymore, and it's a laundromat. Power Stone 2. I'm pretty sure I got that at Best Buy. And that was quite a find. It's weird. There's so many copies of a certain game I don't remember what they were. They're probably more just sports games or something. Because I wasn't really interested in them, and I just got whatever I could that wasn't that generic game, and I instead got this. I guess I was pretty late to the party. I don't know what else everyone else got. So yeah, as you see, I don't have much of a Dreamcast collection. I don't have much to talk about, I guess. Shenmue, great game. open world is really good. Persona 5 came out this year, and I would say Shenmue is still a better open world game than that. Phoenix Wright is an inferior open world game than that. It's not even open world, but I'm just saying like how they do the detective system is not very user friendly, and you just have to guess what the items are. Maybe I don't even know if it's like a Japanese translation thing or whatever, but like Shenmue blows Phoenix right out of the water in terms of that. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Oh, that reminds me. Uh, Japanese game, PAL game. I don't know if I can show you from there. First off, it's blue, so it's PAL. Plus 13, plus 15. I see a European Union thing there. So obviously that's from Europe. I wonder if it says PAL here or anything. Spain. VGA compatible. Let's think about VGAs ever. Oh, VGA compatible. That's really cool that they mentioned that. I thought they said VMU compatible. Oh, that's cool. They have German or Spanish, sorry. The continuation of the emblematical game Fighting Vipers, Yegar, Dreamcast, yeah, Ace, Resurgir, El Janeiro, de la Lucha. Controla una banda de Vipers en su búsqueda particular de la justicia, cada uno con distintas destrezas de lucha con, this is my awful Spanish, sorry, con las que deberán liberar a la ciudad del perverso poder de su alcalde. Sus cuatro modos de juego podrán a prueba tu habilidad hasta límites insospechados. I don't know how to do French. I don't know how to read German. Well, it says PAL here, yep. PAL E. Another where's the 13 and then E. 12 años. Really cool. I don't know how many. Most video games used to have a large amount of like PAL Dreamcast games. I don't know if he still has them or not. Maybe if I didn't get into it for money, I would be more into the PAL Dreamcast games. But anyway, what are they saying? Yes. As you can tell here, not VGA, obviously. Not for computer screens. Oh yeah. I've collected a whole bunch of videos on how to play games without I don't have that disc on me. I should go get that. You can use a few discs. I might as well move around and do it. There's a few discs you can use to go and play the import games or backups or whatever. There was a, it might have been in the other room actually. There was a, I'm trying to remember what all of them were. You use the cheats disc, but you have to get a cheat to do for it to work. I don't know why I'm looking there. I'm lost. This is the look of a lost man. In here. Have a look again. Anyway, there's a few big discs you can use. I don't even remember the name of mine. So you put the boot disc in, and some picture will show on the screen. Then put the game you want to put in, and then the interesting thing, which I'll get into a little bit now since we're getting into it. VMUs may not be compatible with certain discs because, like, they might think it's a European, they might think it's a US game instead of a European game, and then there's like you put both files on the same VMU, and that gets confusing for the control for the VMU. These games were made. I don't even know if they were made recently or like 18 years ago. I should probably do research on it, but it's something interesting to figure out about. So you have a European game, you have a US game, you have a Japanese game, all on a memory card, and that gets confused. That's the problem with my boot disk. In addition to it not being VGA compatible, and I'm not a big stickler for graphics compatibility, but it does look a lot better on VGA than on normal AV. The VMUs themselves are interesting. I got a few colors. I think there's a red also, and I don't know what else. You can see that color. There's a blue. There's a green. There's a. I definitely got this during the thing was when the Dreamcast was running out of business because I think they only had white Dreamcast controllers. The blue one, which I sort of got stuck in my controller. I don't know if we can take this out. Stupid Dreamcast controllers. VMUs. That's another thing I want to talk about, but anyway. I bought this from at New York Comic Con a couple of years ago, actually from what was the name of the place? Big Games New York. Decent price. Actually, no, I got the Spider-Man from that. Did I get the Dreamcast VMU also? I don't remember. But in any case, it's annoying. Sometimes these things jam inside the controller. I should probably get it repaired or something, or maybe I gotta clean it up. Also, you gotta change the batteries on these things. I don't know if plugging this in to the Dreamcast, which is over there, would drain the battery on the VMUs, but so far it hasn't been a problem. I don't know when was the last time I ever changed the battery on a VMU. So kudos to Sega on the good design of that. So yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, I got Spider-Man, which by the way, I was gonna get close to that game again. Spider-Man, best port of a really good game, a spiritual successor to the Spider-Man 1990s John Simper animated series. You get to team up with pretty much everyone in that 90s animated series universe. It's like a really good version of Spider-Man Friend or Foe. Really innovative for its time too. First game by Treyarch before the Dreamcast, PS2, GameCube versions of Spider-Man 1 and 2 from the movies. You get to collect comics. So many secrets. You get to collect suits and costumes. They have different powers. You have passwords. You have different difficulties. You have what if mode. So many cool stuff. Crazy Taxi 2, I don't know if I would compare that to the actual arcade game because like you have like the steering wheel and everything. It's just not the same. You jump with like a trigger button, which is very uncomfortable on the Dreamcast controller. I would prefer on the Saturn controller, but they never made it for that. If there was a D-Make hack made for that, that'd be awesome. I would prefer it even like on a Genesis form, not even a 3D form. Like it didn't have to be that high tech. Fantasy Star Online. I recall this game taking a ton of VMU space, so I couldn't really. And I don't think the game lets you load 2 files anyway. But in any case, I only had 1 file, and I sort of deleted it. I think because I ran out of VMU space. And I didn't want to buy another VMU. And at the time, since there wasn't a lot of indie video game stores, maybe I had no choice because there was no VMUs to buy from GameStop and nowhere in the indie video game stores. I wasn't familiar with eBay, which is gonna be a problem. So you gotta deal with that if you try and get the Dreamcast. I think this was the best part of this game. Very glitchy game, but a lot of fun, a lot of cool memories. You can deflect lasers, which is a pretty cool mechanic. You can jump, double jump. You have special weapons. Pretty cool. Shenmue, very cool game, as I said before. I've heard say everything about that. A really good detective system. You basically play Virtual Fighter 2, except you fight like 50 enemies at the same time. That grand finale, which is awesome. I wish if there was like a, I don't know, I don't even know if you can do this now, but you can add a game where you add more cutscenes or more QTEs. I forgot to talk about QTEs. QTEs are really cool. Of course, made by the company who made the Sega CD. So, and you add that with like fighting game system, like a Streets of Rage, Virtual Fighter fighting game system, and then you have Shenmue. You have the Notebook, like in Majora's Mask, which is another best game of all time. Uh, you have all the memorable characters, the story, the whole mysticism, the music that you can play off the GD-ROM, Passport, the collectibles from Capsule Toys. So like, if they make Shenmue 3, they should just make a million Capsule Toys. I don't even care what the rest of the game is. I think it was so addictive. Just getting the Capsule Toys and hoping you get all of them. I would just play the game and not care about the story and freaking Rio's father instead of just go with the Capsule Toys. That would be cool if you could have like a Diablo 2 marketplace based off of just the Capsule Toys. Probably need server space for that, but that'd be very interesting. Basically, I don't even know what we're talking about other stuff. I just played it for the Capsule Toys. I mentioned I played it for the Capsule Toys. Anyway, haven't played this too much. Pretty sure everyone knows this game. Again, it'd be better on Saturn, so you don't have to get trigger finger. But otherwise, it's a pretty cool game. A lot of fun. Not too many cutscene ends, which I prefer than the Saturn, because like they actually had them opposed to this. But then again, they have a lot of characters, a lot of inputs for the moves, super moves, and how to do the combos with 3 players, mind you, as opposed to just 2. Power Stone 2. I don't know how everybody knows this. I don't even know how many people know it's an expensive game, actually, but it's like a cool Mario Party fighting game where you get like power ups, then do superpowers, specials. Very simple but very fun game. I actually have a DVD of an actual Power Stone anime or cartoon, which is like Pokemon, which actually has like Team Rocket-ish characters, but I don't know, it's pretty cool to have. I don't even know how long that series went. It probably only had 10 episodes, which is weird for like a Pokemon show, but I don't know, I find it interesting. It's weird. Like I didn't like this game that much. It's a great game. There's nothing technically wrong with it. It just didn't blow me away like Shenmue did, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 did, or the original Fighting Vipers did, or Spider-Man for Dreamcast did. This is probably the best port for this ever graphically, and not sure about gameplay wise. Maybe PSX is a little bit better with shoulder buttons, but Dreamcast had better graphical quality. Probably same with Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles as well. A lot of people love this game. I'm guessing it's probably like where did I put it? Anyway, Street Fighter Alpha 3, and that have all the characters, but there's not like a cutscene ending for it, which is unfortunate. I forgot what game I was talking about. Oh, Power Stone 2 or Marvel's Capcom 2. I don't know. I don't own Power Stone 1 for a reason. I mean, the thing was, the console was ending. I didn't even know there was a Power Stone 1. I just bought whatever was available for the Dreamcast. Yeah, I have to get back to you on the boot disc. I mean, basically, you just get it from Adam Carlick's site or something online, and then you can figure it out. Probably cheat disc, or I think one of them was Intervention, but that went from a PlayStation. Can't remember whatever names. Oh, mine was the DCX actually. Yeah, my boot disc is the DCS, which is the one which has the memory card problem and VMU problem. Sorry, and the lack of VGA compatibility. Sometimes like a sound problem, but I'm not sure if that's just my loose wiring cable for the VGA or AV. This was a lot of cool stuff. I'm trying to remember what was the name of that thing. I think there's like an HDMI hardware thing, like adapter or wire. It's called like the Akita or something that came out this year, and that was pretty cool. For that, playing Marvel's Capcom 2 on that. Has like scan lines, has like a whole bunch of quality things, probably 480, 1080, or whatever. One cool thing about the Dreamcast, not only can you use a modem, not can you use Windows CE, but the Dreamcast, I'm not going to do it now because I don't want to damage it. It's not that bad that I would accidentally damage the Dreamcast to demonstrate this, but this drive is actually pretty easy to remove. That's good if you want to use like a flash drive, SD card, GDMU. There's all these things that you can do on the Dreamcast, which is pretty cool. I don't even know how the shell looks. Probably guess you see all the screws from there. There's like 3 screws. It looks like a heatsink down here. Risk of electroshock, do not open. Plus the FCC rules are pretty cool. Made in Japan. Can represent that Nippon pride. It's pretty cool that they actually mentioned that it complies with FCC regulations, so you know it's safe. So yeah, basically you can run this like a R4 cartridge, but you have to take out the disk drive. But it's actually pretty easy. You just remove the ribbon, that's it. Otherwise, and then pull it out. Easiest thing since like the Sega CD. Probably very easy to do mods too if you just remove the parts or like add something else. This was released with a black version too, the Sega Sports version. I was thinking about using that to do the GD-ROM or GDMU or whatever you call it. There's actually multiple versions. And you have to be careful with that because it actually depends on which revision you have before we can do that. There's a lot of cool mods for that online. Also, there's something I recently heard about online about GD-ROMs. To know that this is actually a GD-ROM, you gotta see that extra circle. I don't know if you can see it too well on this camera, but if you see that extra circle, that definitely means it's a GD-ROM, not a fake, from what I heard. Because like basically no one makes GD-ROM format. Also another thing, I hear a lot of stuff which I can't actually confirm because I never actually tried it with burned disk because I can't do it because I don't have the right revision for the Dreamcast. Because as I just told you before, I got it. It's weird. You figure the latest version will be most compatible with backups and bootlegs, but actually it's the older versions. Those play them. And so old versions can play them, and then apparently that was done according to Adam Korlak with the karaoke format, and then use controllers to conform in a format that was compatible with like inputs from the controller and stuff. Really cool of Dreamcast historians to do that so that everyone can play the games on the Dreamcast. You know, I'm not the biggest fan, but it's just cool that you have that capability for fans of the console and the Sega in general. I didn't have much more time to talk about the history of the Dreamcast, but I pretty much talked about all my thoughts on the Dreamcast. I'm trying to figure out what other games I would have that are. What games would I like for the Dreamcast? Obviously Shenmue 2, Power Stone 1. They never made Enter Electro for Dreamcast, unfortunately, because it's the best battle version. I don't know if it's 20 Hawk Pro Skater 1. If actually one I played at my friend's house, who's a classmate's house from high school, who's also part of a band. We got knocked out because A lot of music makes me knocked out. Fire out 3. Shadow 2. I never really played the really good Dreamcast games. That's probably why I was never a fan, because like there wasn't a big selection. I joined the Dreamcast craze right when it ended. So and personally, the games were in store shelves. There was a Seaman. Actually, there was a Seaman at my local video game store. At a store in Flushing, New York, which isn't there anymore. I don't know what it is now, but they had the Berserk, which is a cool like beat 'em up Dynasty Warriors game, based off the Berserk anime, which I wish I got because it's like really expensive now, but I didn't get it. House of the Dead's fun, but I don't have a gun. This is fun controller. I should probably get that. Um, what's that other game? Oh, Wicked Lodos War. Big fan of that anime. Because that animation, because of the fighting the bad guys. I don't know if there's any arcs in that, which is gotta think about for the next Art House anime review of Wicked Lodos War. Maybe I'll do a review of that. But it seemed like a cool game. There's like an RPG. I'm surprised there isn't more of that. I think I have some of the Sega CD. They actually took it down. Actually, I gotta redo that. Sega CD has a Japanese only. Mega CD rather has Japanese only Record of Lost game, which is like that. This game was pretty cool. And it has music straight from the anime, which is pretty cool. And I don't know how it compares to the Dreamcast game. I've never played it before. I've never owned it before. I regret not buying from that Flushing store. I was waiting for the price to go down, and then actually now I never bought it. Shows to do that, you should just enjoy life. Try to enjoy more life opposed to like doing this for the money. It's recent, and it's not really like I have a choice in wherever because eBay. So I'm making money off of eBay now. At least off common games, rare games are doing pretty well. I digress. I get into the history of the Dreamcast and success and failures later on in another video. Hope you guys enjoyed.